Hi, I'm Nancy Blotner. At Caldwell University, we believe that all citizens should be informed about the important issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Cohn Resnick, Accounting, Tax, and Advisory, where forward thinking creates results. The Fidelco Group, ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services. Meridian Health. QualCare Inc., a managed care company administering health plans that care about your health care. Caldwell University. And by the North Ward Center. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com. And by bestofnj.com, covering all New Jersey has to offer.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
I'm headed down to Woodstown, rode in that Jersey mud. Well, I'm headed down to Woodstown, rode in that Jersey mud.
That's good stuff. You're looking at Ryan Gooch Nelson, singer, songwriter, and he's got this new. You mind if I plug your CD?
Go right ahead. That's what we're here for, right?
Oh, you're here to plug? Is that what you're here to do?
Partly. We're here to tell a story.
Public television. We don't plug unless you know.
Okay, I got you.
You got good stuff, and you do. This is Gooch and the Motion.
Yes,
Comin
sir.
Home.
Yes, sir.
What's your story, man? You got a great story.
Well, back in 2004, I was paralyzed in a truck accident, and for 2 years, I really struggled trying to find, a purpose in life, and music was always a big thing. Ever since I was 12, I played guitar and, sang, played bass, drums, and things like that. And after 2 years being paralyzed, I finally found slide guitar, which is kind of an old traditional thing that a lot of old blues players do. And it's kind of an old school technique of playing guitar. And I started playing guitar, writing music, and had a long journey. And now I'm here with my new band, The Motion, and releasing our debut album.
When did you know that music would always be a part of your life?
Well, I guess when I was, just a kid, music, everything, this was like, music was always a big part of my life because...
How young?
I guess 12, 13 years old. I can remember just going to concerts. My parents were, big supporters. And
who'd you go see?
I would go see, even local bands would play at my dad's car dealership where he was a manager.
What?
Last Call, to people like Dave Matthews, Santana, The Roots, and things like that.
Joanna, right? Joanna Gagos, our executive producer. She loves Dave Matthews.
Yeah, I was a huge Dave Matthews fan growing up. And he was, absolutely one of my first major influences. But, after my accident, then I got really into blues and just started picking up blues, and that really led my direction to where I'm at now.
By the way, you go by Gooch.
Yeah.
Do you feel this? Yeah, by the way, what does Gooch mean?
Gooch, well, funny story, my older brother, John.
There better be a funny story.
Used to call me Gucci baby. When he was 3 and I was just a kid,
right.
My parents would, I guess, say Gucci baby in the crib or whatever,
right.
And they would call me Gucci baby. And all my baseball coaches, football coaches, teachers, everybody called me Gooch. So, but as a performer now, it kind of works,
So talk to me about, you said blues became the primary music of choice for you after the accident.
Yeah,
right?
It really gave me an outlet to express myself. And once I started studying these old blues artists and everything like that, it really just came natural to me to pick up the guitar, play, slide, and it has a very soulful sound and allows me to express the things that I go through that are challenging, And you know, I also have leukemia, and I'm in remission, thank God, and I'm a survivor and everything. But you know, going through all these trials and tribulations, it's amazing to have blues. It's such an outlet and such a, you know.
Hold on, back up. After this accident, this
Right.
truck accident,
Right.
which affected you how physically? Make it clear to people.
Well, it's a C6, C7 injury, so I'm paralyzed from the chest down, including the bottoms of my arms and my hands. So to make it clear, it was not easy for me to pick up the guitar and play it because my hands are paralyzed. I can only move them so much. And so I needed to find another way to play. So I had this bottleneck slide here made, and it's a one-of-a-kind that a good friend of mine is a glassblower, Mike Larrabee, made for me. And
Customized for you.
Yeah, customized for me, that I could just fit on my thumb like this and pick up the guitar.
You're going to play in a second, but after the accident, you got diagnosed with leukemia.
Yeah, about 5 years after that, another thing happened, which was I was diagnosed with leukemia, and you know, that was a huge battle. I lost a ton of weight, got really sick, and you know, just it was hell, really. And after about a year of taking this medication every day, which I still have to take every day.
You still take it?
Yep, it's a chemotherapy drug called Gleevec. And, you know, it affects me in all kinds of different ways, from stomach pain to, you know, just general weakness and just not feeling great, you know.
You play every day?
Yeah, pretty much every day, as much as I can.
You have the guitar here.
Right.
Is it imposing on you to ask you to play some?
No,
Play
I would love to play a little bit of blues for you and kind of show you what I do.
The public television family would be honored to have you play. Whatever moves you.
Give you a little taste, you know. It just kind of has a sweet sound that really lets me get my emotions out and everything like that, and also do a lot of a little bit of rocking with it, a little bit of blues and soul, and you can even get funky with it. You know, so after I started learning how to do this again, it just gave me hope, you know, gave me purpose and allowed me to, you know, eventually lead to what I'm doing now with The Motion, which is an 8-piece band that fills in behind me, and, you know, we go to town.
How'd you get them, The Motion?
I first started playing in a band called 61 North for about 8 years, and we opened up for Leonard Skinner, Allman Brothers, you know, Robert Randolph, a lot of really great acts. We're very fortunate to travel out to California and play. We played all over the place, and they were like brothers to me, but I felt that I needed to go, you know, in my direction and find my voice. We had a great lead singer, Brian LePan, who's out doing a lot of great stuff right now, and you can find a lot of his stuff online too. But I just, you know, we both were kind of needed to find our own voices, and now that I'm doing this, I know that I'm on the right path.
The foundation you started is called?
Music in Motion, the Music in Motion Foundation, and it's at musicinmotionfoundation.org.
What is it?
Basically, when I was in the hospital, I had music therapy.
Oh, is that better for you to put down?
Yeah, I can put this down.
You got it. Music in Motion Foundation.
Yeah, Music in Motion Foundation. It's basically a foundation that I wanted to start. When I was in the hospital, they had music therapy, and then they don't have it there anymore. That's how I was given purpose again, was through this music therapy that I received when I was at McGee Rehab Hospital in Philadelphia for about 6 months after my accident. And it just was important to me because I see how many people struggle and how music can really bring the best out of people. And my father just passed of lung cancer.
Recently?
Yep, just recently,
I'm
about a few weeks ago. I appreciate that. And but you know, I would go by his bedside and play for him, and you know, even when he couldn't talk, he would just smile, you know. And it really meant a lot to him, and it meant a lot to me when people came and played for me when I couldn't play. And then, you know, the whole learning process, the therapy of it. You know, music is a communal thing, and when you get people in a room together and they're singing and playing music and hitting drums and things like that, it brings the best out of people, and it lifts their hopes and lifts their spirits and gives them an outlet.
You know, earlier today, we had a young man, you may or may not know, Eric LeGrand. Eric LeGrand was a football player at Rutgers University who, in the fall of 2010, was injured on the football field and wound up not being able to use his, well, he can't walk.
Okay.
And he can't use his upper body. And we spent some time talking to him, and he described his own situation, and he's incredibly positive and spiritual, and he's a motivational speaker, and he's a broadcaster, sportscaster for Rutgers. And the bottom line is, what I took away from him is he actually talked about his own situation, that on some level it's been a blessing, and he's learned more about himself, and that's him. But it's just ironic. I didn't even know that both of you were booked today on this day. How do you experience this in terms of, have you ever processed why you?
Well, you know, I'm a firm believer that God has a plan, and I have faith, and you know, I just try to take it day by day, and that's why, you know, part of the reason I started the Music and Motion Foundation was because it feels good, it feels right to give back and help others. I can look at my situation and say, why me? Or
Do you?
Or I can, no, I'd like to look at my situation, and I kind of think that I was meant for this because I can be someone who you know, motivates people and brings joy to people, and also inspires people. And people used to tell me all the time that I would inspire them, and I kind of would just let that roll off, or maybe even take that as a compliment. But now that I'm older, I take it as a responsibility to give back to people and to try and show them and help them in any way that I can, because I've been given so much help. And even though I've been given such a tough situation, seen a lot of hardship, I've had so much love through family, friends, and community, faith, God, that's supported me and shown me that, you know, there's another way, you know, that other than negativity.
Your life without music, can you imagine it?
I have thought about that sometimes, and it would be extremely difficult, but I think I would find something else to do. You know, it's
that's
like
who you are.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's about mindset. Everything's about your mindset, and as long as your mind works, look at Stephen Hawking. You know, maybe I would have became a light programmer for, you know, light shows at concert events, or
you would have done something meaningful.
Yeah, something, and it probably would have been musical, but even not. You know, I want to go out and give back to the community. I want to do motivational speaking and do anything I can to give back and try to, you know, sounds cliche, but make the world a better place, you know.
Could you just play a little bit for us, and then we're going to hear you on tape, but
Okay.
I'll plug one more time.
Okay, great.
Gooch in the Motion, Comin Home. And thank you so much for being with us on public television.
Thank you, Steve. We greatly appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you.
I'm gonna show you how to love me right, girl. I'm gonna show you how. show, yeah.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We're here with Dominique Lee, who is our $50,000 winner of the Russ Berrie Award for Making a Difference. What did that feel like?
Very humbled in so many different ways. It felt very interesting, I'll put it that way.
Talk about the difference you're making every day in Newark with those school children.
So it's a team of us that are really trying to do what is necessary for give children an opportunity to be successful in life. So giving them a hope, that's the first thing, restoring hope. Giving them the tools to have success in their careers and their education. So it's a whole process.
And the biggest difference you're making in terms of how you've been creative to do that with your colleagues at Teach for America.
So we work with existing partners and we try to change public policy. So it's one thing to attack the issue within your classroom. It's one thing to do it at the school level, but we're now trying to do it as a system-wide process that will affect all children across Newark. So to basically take the learnings that we learned at the school level and taking that to the public policy realm.
Dominique, let me ask you this. The organization you created called BRIC, what does it stand for?
Building Responsible, Intelligent, Creative Kids.
Where'd you come up with that name?
We were actually in Ironbound in Newark, and there was a brick wall, and we said, let's call ourselves after the city, Brick City, and developed the acronym.
and the test scores in Newark, these were kids at what grade, reading at what grade?
No problem. So the schools that Avon, our first school that we assumed control over, was the lowest performing school in Newark and actually the second in the state. So you're talking about single digits in many of the grades of passing the state exam.
You said we took it over. Tell folks who say understand who we really are.
Yeah, so Dr. Janey at the time was the superintendent, and he gave us the ability, it was 6 of us, Teach for America alumni.
Of the schools?
Of the school. 6 Teach for America alumni came together, asked Dr. Janey to basically do a turnaround effort at Avon Avenue School, and that's BRIC, the organization.
Wasn't that scary?
It was scary, and it was a little naive of us to try to have the audacity of hope to think that we can actually do something different. We have, right?
What kind of things did you really do to turn it around?
No problem. So one, we put hope back into the school. That's primary example. Quality teaching, making sure that the right teachers are in the right classrooms. Meeting the needs of the students academically and social and emotional. And those are two different needs, right? Because you have your academic needs and then you have your social and emotional needs, because many of our children live in an environment where toxic stress is a daily occurrence, right? So we as a school have to address this toxic stress that they're coming from every day.
A lot of these children are facing violence, drugs, lots of danger on the streets, and their home life tough.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, in our neighborhood, 50% of our kids live on less than $10,000 coming into the household every single day.
How much? $10,000 every what?
Every year.
That's every year?
Yeah, $10,000 every year. 70% of our kids are in a single female head household. About 2/3 of our kids are in poverty. So a whole host of issues that children basically confront every day, which leads to this whole notion of toxic stress. It creates all types of issues around their health, their academic stability. Home life sometimes is not the best situation. So it's our responsibility to look at school not in an old traditional mindset, but how does the school basically wrap all these services necessary for the child to be successful.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We're pleased to welcome Tom Viola, Executive Director, Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS. Good to have you, Tom.
You too, Steve. Good to see you.
2 organizations merged into one. When?
2 small grassroots organizations that were founded in 1988. Equity Fights AIDS came out of Actors Equity Association, the union for actors and stage managers. Broadway Cares sort of came about in the Broadway community. We worked side by side, very small in those first couple years, and merged in '92 to become Broadway Cares / Equity Fights AIDS.
In an effort to do what?
Well, you know what? In an effort to come together to really respond to the HIV/AIDS crisis, to raise money so that we could respond both through what's called the Actors Fund, which is the employee assistance program of the entertainment industry, and also to award grants now to over 450 AIDS and family service organizations across the country.
$250 million.
Yeah. It's extraordinary. And literally what's particularly terrific about that is beginning in 1996, our mission actually even began to expand. When we began doing this with the Actors Fund, funding them in '88, we were funding just the HIV/AIDS initiative. That began to shift in '96, where we took on the Phyllis Newman Women's Health Initiative. We also fund the Al Hirschfeld Free Clinic, their addiction recovery services, health insurance issues. Last year, we awarded the Actors Fund $5.2 million, which allowed them to assist over 17,000 folks in the entertainment industry. And that's not just actors. That's everybody in the business, whether you're on stage, behind the stage, front of house, producer's office, in the television or movie industry. There's a safety net of social services that our work in the theater community, our fundraising work, allows them to provide.
So I understand this, though, Tom, but you don't give money directly to individuals?
No, we're not a social service agency ourselves. Well, for instance, the other half of our mission, last year we awarded about $6.2 million to these 450 social service agencies across the country.
And they deal directly with
And they
people.
do the direct work. They're on the ground doing what I would say is the hardest work. It's the food banks, the health clinics, housing programs, case management, harm reduction programs, and they're groups large and small. I mean, here in New York City, they're as big as God's Love We Deliver and GMHC and Housing Works, to literally food banks in the back of churches like at St. Luke's and St. Clement's and St. Paul the Apostle, right here in this neighborhood.
But you know, you're not just in New York City.
We're not. Our grant making is literally, we award to organizations in all 50 states. Which we're very proud of. We've actually searched out organizations like in Idaho and Wyoming and North Dakota. Well, you know, here in the city, it's one experience to live with HIV/AIDS or any debilitating illness. There's a lot of access to resources. You have to know how to get to them, but there are a variety of options. When you begin to get outside of the major metropolitan areas, particularly living with HIV, your options are particularly limited. And
I think it's different.
Say what?
You think it's different?
I think it's definitely different, and particularly when you have to address the stigma that folks have even to access those services. Today. And you know what?
Hold on. 30 years later.
30 years later.
You still feel there's a significant stigma?
Absolutely.
Around HIV
Absolutely.
and AIDS?
It depends where you are. I mean, and I think it's a different kind of stigma than we were facing when this began 35 years ago. Well, you know, I think it was more outright. It was almost easier, I would say, to stand up against it and battle it. I think now it's a little more insidious. It's quiet. It even sometimes comes from the gay community itself, a feeling that people don't necessarily want to know their HIV status because they feel if that's shared, they will be ostracized. And the fact of the matter is, the best way that we prevent HIV is through knowing your status. There are about 50,000 people every year that are infected by HIV. There have been literally over 600,000 deaths. There have been 13,000 deaths just this year alone. While the medications exist, which allow people to live with the virus, if you're not adequately fed, if you don't have good nutrition, if your life is in chaos for one reason or another, you can't adhere to those medications to make sure that not only is your own health taken care of, but that you're not transmitting the virus. Because if you're on the medication and your viral load goes to zero, your T cells go up, you're living with the virus, but you are not infectious. If people are afraid to
explain that.
Well, what that means is if your viral load goes down to zero, that means you don't have the infection in your bloodstream. You can't transmit the virus. You still live with the antibodies that keep it in your system, but you can't share it. If you don't know what your status is and you're not on medication, you could well appear healthy but be infectious. So what we tell people constantly is to know your status. Know your status.
You know, I was torn as to whether I wanted to bring this up.
Sure, I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
I think you're going to ask me about Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, you see, we're taping this program. It's funny. It's literally right before Thanksgiving. It's very warm, warmer than normal here in New York City, and this whole Charlie Sheen thing broke. And it's not important what I think about what he did or didn't do, said or didn't say. My question to you is, as someone who's been on the front lines and has fought and has taught and has raised money and helped so many people, my question is, what is there for us to learn from what we think we know about this?
Here's my feeling about that. I'm hoping that what Charlie has shared with us is an opportunity for discussion and education, as opposed to something to be shamed or sensationalized. You know, when there is a conversation about HIV, when there's a conversation about testing and the medications, it allows us to actually take care of each other and ourselves in a way that tamps down how the virus is spread. If people are listening to what Charlie has to say and figure it is just an item of gossip, it becomes questions about what they view his personal choices may have been.
Does it matter?
You know what?
Do you think it doesn't matter?
I think it matters for Charlie, certainly, and it matters for the folks that he comes in contact with and loves. But I'm hoping that like it has been for many folks, that this diagnosis is a wake-up call. And allows him, Charlie's going to have the best medical care that exists. He'll be on the medication. Yeah. His doctor, was on TV with him. He talked about just what I did in terms of the viral load and that.
Can it help, going back to your cause, it's not your cause, the cause of many, can it help the larger effort that you are involved in helping thousands, hundreds of thousands?
I think it can, because I think if people, again, aren't sensationalizing this or trying to shame him, it can actually allow people to have the discussion that sort of tamps down the stigma.
Tom, do we care enough? I mean, you and your colleagues have raised $250 million over a significant number of years. But do the rest of us care enough about HIV and AIDS, or have many of us come to the conclusion, hey, there's some pretty darn good medication, and it's not what it was, so hey, given the other crises out there?
Well, you know what? I think when we first started doing this, again, as I said, there have been over 600,000 deaths from AIDS since 1988. That is literally more than any American war from the American Revolution to Iraq. So when you think that this has happened in 30 years, that's cataclysmic in all kinds of communities, not just here in the city, but in suburban and rural communities all over the country. Now it's a different issue. What AIDS has become is a part of a number of issues that I think we're all facing as well, whether that is about lack of resources, whether that's lack of access to decent health care, mental health issues, addiction, job loss, racism. Housing, all of it. I mean, it exacerbates any of those issues. So when we reach out to those folks, we are actually often reaching out to an entire community of people.
Tom Viola, Executive Director, Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS. Been doing it for a lot of years and raising a lot of money for a great cause. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Tom.
Steve, very much.
Appreciate it. Keep it up.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Comin Home, the Fidelco Group, ADP, Meridian Health, Qualcare Inc., Caldwell University, and by the North Ward Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.